Charlie McAvoy was named the NHL's second star of the week, and the Boston Bruins are in a decent spot in the midst of another long break in the schedule. All that and more on today's episode of Locked On Boston Bruins.
You're Locked On Bruins, your daily podcast on the Boston Bruins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, Bruins fans, and welcome back to the Locked On Boston Bruins podcast. I'm your host, Ian McLaren, and this is a daily show where we discuss all things spoke to be, as well as take a look around the NHL. Today is Tuesday, November 16th, and I want to thank you for making Locked On Boston Bruins your first listen every day. The podcast is free and available on all platforms, so whether you're an Apple user or you use Spotify, Stitcher, Google, Pocket Casts, please do smash that subscribe button. Each new episode will be automatically added to your feed for you to download, listen, and enjoy. The podcast is also available on YouTube, so you can get a video glimpse of the recording process. Look at my living room. You can hear the cat in the background. And please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Great to see a lot of comments coming in through there. And we can keep the conversation going over on YouTube. If you're on social media, you can follow the podcast at Locked NHL Bruins. It's also on Instagram, the same handle. And you can find me, my dad jokes, hockey tweets, at Ian C. McLaren. For those who may be new to the podcast, let me quickly reintroduce myself. Like I said, my name is Ian. I live in Guelph, Ontario, which is about an hour west of Toronto, home of the Guelph Storm of the OHL. I was able to cover their 2019 championship run. Prior to that, I worked for about 5 years at The Score in Toronto, a popular sports app that you might be aware of, might use. And I've been a lifelong fan of the Bruins and writing about them for about 16 years now. My first blog post about the Bruins was expressing my sadness about the Joe Thornton trade. We're coming up to the 16th anniversary of that trade, if you can believe it. And he's still going, still going strong-ish in Florida as a member of the Panthers. Anyways, let's get into today's episode, shall we? Big news yesterday was that Charlie McAvoy was named the NHL's second star of the week for the week ending November 14th. He tied for the league among defensemen in goals and points for that week. 4 games, 2 goals, 7 points. He also tied for third in points and plus minus among all skaters last week. The highlights for him: he scored a pair of goals in the Bruins' 5-2 win over the Canadiens on November 14th, Sunday. He also recorded 3 assists and a +4 rating in the 5-2 win over the New Jersey Devils on Saturday. He added a pair of assists in the win over the Senators earlier that week. He now ranks 4th on the Bruins in points and is tied for 2nd in assists. He has 5 multi-point games in 13 appearances this season. Charlie McAvoy asserting himself not only as an elite defenseman, but also a Norris Trophy candidate for sure. He's 4 points back of the points leaders for defensemen, Roman Josi of the Nashville Predators and Adam Fox, the reigning Norris winner of the New York Rangers. They both have 16 points. Quinn Hughes of the Vancouver Canucks with 14 points. There's 4 players who have 13 points. Tony DeAngelo of the Carolina Hurricanes, Victor Hedman, Tampa Bay Lightning, Seth Jones of the Chicago Blackhawks, Kevin Shattenkirk from the Ducks. They all have 13 points. And then McAvoy tied for 4th with 12 points with Miro Heiskanen of the Dallas Stars, Brent Burns of the San Jose Sharks. So, yeah, Charlie McAvoy, a recent kind of explosion in points. Norris voters always do look at scoring as well as overall defensive play. So it certainly helps that he's among the league leaders in defensive scoring. But his overall game, of course, is quite strong, and he should be a finalist this season, in my opinion, and the opinion of many others. Now, one of the funny things about his recent splurge in goals was that he kind of barreled through Nick Foligno to score a goal in the second period against the Montreal Canadiens on Sunday. Taylor Hall fired the shot from the top of the right circle. Goalie Sam Montembeault stopped, left a rebound there at the front of the net. McAvoy came charging in from the blue line, smacked home the puck, but he also bulldozed Foligno, who was among the players hacking at the loose puck. He said afterwards, "I felt really bad about that, but he was the first one down there to give me a hug afterward. I was going fast, I was going hard, and all I saw was the puck, and it was a little bit of tunnel vision. But I gave him a hug after. I'll go find him and give him another." And McAvoy on Instagram on Monday posted as well him celebrating the goal. He said, "Shout out Fliggy taking a hit to make a play," with a thinking face emoji as well as a laughing, crying emoji and hashtag friendly fire. So yeah, Nick Foligno definitely becoming a favorite among the locker room, among the fans, fitting in well, and enjoying life as a Boston Bruin, despite getting pummeled by Charlie McAvoy on Sunday. So congrats to McAvoy for earning the second star of the week, raising those point totals. He's at 12 points through 13 games, and just continues to wow us on a nightly basis. We're very lucky to have him in the fold. Well worth his contract extension, even though it doesn't kick in till next season. Now, DirecTV has a great way for you to get all of your entertainment in one place, hassle-free. It's called Direct Stream, and it brings your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before. You can watch all your favorite sports, movies, and shows all in one place. The best part? There's no annual contract, so stop waiting and get your TV together with Direct Stream. Learn more at directtv.com. That's directtv.com. Thank you again for making Locked On Boston Bruins your first listen every day. We're free and available on all podcast platforms as well as YouTube, so please subscribe to both the audio and video feeds of the podcast. That would be very much appreciated. Bruins in the midst of a week-long break, which is a fun challenge for a daily podcast hoster like myself. Today, we're going to get into the Atlantic Division Power Rankings. Tomorrow, we're going to have a mailbag segment, so please send some questions into @LockedNHLBruins, @Ian C. McLaren on Twitter or Instagram. And I'd love to answer all your questions about the Bruins so far this season, what's coming ahead, the NHL at large. And, I love to talk about TV, books, all that kind of stuff too. So shoot whatever question is on your mind. Now, let's look at the Atlantic Division Power Rankings, shall we? And, of course, last season, it was the Bruins lumped in with a bunch of metropolitan teams, and it was a true 1 through 4 make it to the playoffs. And this season, back to the top 3 teams in each division advance, plus 2 wildcard teams. So it's also important to keep an eye on the Metropolitan Division. But let's start with the Atlantic, where there are 2 clear teams at the bottom. We're going to put the Montreal Canadiens down in the 8th spot right now. They have a record of 4-11-2 through 17 games, a woeful -22 goal differential, a .294 point percentage, and just an awful start for the Montreal Canadiens, and thankfully the Bruins were able to take advantage of that on Sunday with the win. Now, their underlying numbers, not terrible. They have a positive shot attempt differential at 5-on-5. Their expected goals, which is shot attempt differential, taking into account as well the shot quality. If you listened to the interview with Shannon Goldman a couple weeks ago, she broke that all down for us. So go back and check that out if you haven't already. The Canadiens, 12th with a positive expected goal. So things, just have not gone their way so far this season. They have been without Carey Price, to be sure. They've lost some players from the team that went to the final last year: Shea Weber, Philip Deneau, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Cole Caulfield sent down. So maybe they're not as bad as their record suggests at the moment, looking at their underlying numbers, but still their record to date puts them well at the bottom of the Atlantic. In seventh, Ottawa Senators, they're 4-10-1 through 15 games, 300-point percentage, minus 16, and they are actually on a break at the moment because of a COVID outbreak. I believe they have 10 players on the COVID list at the moment, and the NHL decided yesterday to postpone at least their next 3 games through November 20th. And that, if that continues, that could put Olympic participation in jeopardy. There's the NHL had 2 schedules coming into this season, one for the Olympics, one without. If it's just isolated to the Senators over the next few days, then that's a good thing. But if, other teams start to have games postponed as well, then that could become a problem. Obviously, the health of the players is of utmost importance. And hopefully the Senators can get well. Thankfully, the Bruins weren't affected, despite the fact that they had positive cases when they met last week. So, moving up the standings, the 6th place team at the moment, the Buffalo Sabres, they got off to a pretty good start, but they have slipped a bit. They're now 6-6-2 through 14 games, 500-point percentage, an even goal differential, which is pretty impressive. They've struggled on the road. They're only 1-4-1 on the road this season. They have had success at home. Their underlying numbers, not super strong. Shot attempt differential, they rank 18th, 50.34, so just over the edge there in their favor. Expected goals, they rank 21st at 49.11. So, they're achieving a bit better results than expected. Their PDO is an even 100. So these Sabres kind of are what they are at the moment. Not the worst team in the NHL, probably not the worst team in the Atlantic, but still several steps to be taken before they're truly competitive in the Atlantic and in the Eastern Conference. The Jack Eichel saga is behind them. They have some pieces to build on, and they're trying to move forward. Credit to new head coach Don Granato, who has really instilled a new confidence in this group since taking over last season. In 5th, going to put the Detroit Red Wings. They're 8-7-2 through 17 games, 529-point percentage. They do have a minus 6 goal differential. But the Yzerman era finally coming home to reap a bit of a harvest here. The recent draft picks of Lucas Raymond and Moritz Seider really paying off for them. When it comes to shot attempt differential, they rank 27th, 45.94% in their favor. So that's concerning for them. In terms of expected goals, they rank, let's see here. Where did the Detroit Red Wings rank? They rank 19th, 49.3. So they're on the wrong side of both of those numbers. And we might see them start to slip a bit here in the standings, although there's not really much room to fall with those teams below them. Probably will remain below them for the balance of the season, but not quite a playoff team quite yet for the Detroit Red Wings. So there's a bit of a divide developing here in the Atlantic. Those 4 bottom teams: Detroit, Buffalo, Ottawa, Montreal, and then 4 stronger teams. The Boston Bruins, I'm going to put them in 4th in the division at the moment. They have a record of 8-5, 16 points through 13 games, a .615 point percentage, plus 4 goal differential, which puts them second in the Atlantic, actually ahead of Tampa Bay and Toronto in that particular category. When it comes to their underlying numbers, expected goals, they rank 3rd in the NHL, 55.2% in their favor. When it comes to shot attempt differential, they rank 5th, 53.76. The 5-on-5 shooting percentage, still an issue, as they rank 28th, 6.3.4%. Everything okay? What happened?
The shower curtain thing just fell.
In the bathroom?
Yeah.
Thanks to Bessie?
No, but
okay.
I caught her first.
Oh, okay, I'll fix it. Our cat Bessie causing some issues this morning. She pulled down the shower curtain in the bathroom. Unreal. Anyways, yeah, the Bruins, their PDO at the moment is ranked 29th at 5-on-5. So if you look at their shot attempt differential, 5-on-5, you look at their expected goals, 5-on-5, you expect that their shooting percentage would rise as a result. We've seen that in recent games. They scored 10 goals over the weekend. And so once that offense starts kicking, I really do expect the Bruins to solidify themselves as a playoff team and as a strong team in the Atlantic Division. The problem is there are 3 other great teams in the Atlantic, beginning with the 3rd place team, Toronto Maple Leafs. They're 10-5-1. They've won 3 in a row, 8-2 in their last 10. They only have a +1 goal differential, which is kind of surprising considering their elite core 4. The defense, still a bit of an issue, even though Jack Campbell has been great in net for them. But yeah, can't deny their top end talent for sure. And in the regular season, at least, they should be pretty strong. Expected goals, 55.22 for the Maple Leafs. When it comes to shot attempts, they're just behind the Bruins, 53.16. So they're a legit regular season team, at least. When it gets to the playoffs, that remains to be seen. Tampa Bay Lightning have really charged up the standings. They're 8-3-3 through 14 games, a .679 point percentage, +3 goal differential. No surprise there, although they have lost a lot of players from their Cup championship teams over the last 2 years. But still hanging in. They have, the best goalie in the NHL in Andrei Vasilevsky, and that alone gives them a good chance to win every night. Steven Stamkos playing strong. Nikita Kucherov out of the lineup, but, they're still pretty loaded offensively. The number 1 team, however, no debating it at the moment, the Florida Panthers, 10-2-3. They have lost a couple of games in a row, 2 overtime losses in a row, but they are a perfect 7-0-0 at home, a +15 goal differential. And if there is one, I don't know if there really is a weak spot on this team. Expected goals, they rank 7th in the NHL. Shot attempt differential, they rank 1st. And they're getting goaltending from Sergei Bobrovsky, which they've been counting on for a while, haven't quite got it. PDO is 1.013, so not wildly in their favor in terms of puck luck. And so I would expect that they would remain a force all season long. Now, if we look at the Eastern Conference, point percentage right now, Carolina, Florida, the top 2 teams for sure. Washington's very strong as well. They're the only 3 teams with a positive double-digit goal differential. And then from there, it opens up a bit. The Rangers sit in 4th, 9-3-3 record. The Lightning, the Maple Leafs, and the Bruins ranking in 7th. tied in point percentage with the Philadelphia Flyers and the Columbus Blue Jackets. At the moment, the Bruins would be outside of the playoff picture, behind the Devils and the Red Wings in points. However, they have a better point percentage than both of those teams, meaning if they make good on their games in hand, then they should be good. They should be feeling good heading into this break as they practice, moving in here to a few days off before Saturday's game against Philadelphia. That'll be a big one. Again, in the Atlantic, they're 2 points behind the Red Wings, but they have 4 games in hand as a bit of context there. So that's how things stand here in the Atlantic Division. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the power rankings. Comment on the YouTube page or hit me up at Locked NHL Bruins or at Ian C. McLaren. Now, if you're going to bet on where these teams will land to finish the season, there's no better place than BetOnline, your number one spot for all hockey, basketball, and football action this season. They have a new web interface for the start of hockey and basketball with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. Head to their new updated desktop or mobile website, sign up today, and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit by using promo code LOCKEDON. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. And again, get that 50% bonus on your first deposit by using promo code LOCKEDON. What is going on around the NHL here on Tuesday morning? Last night, the latest Hall of Fame class was inducted. There was one former Bruin on the list. That was Jarome Iginla, who still calls the Boston area home. Local weatherman meme inserted here. Congrats to Iginla, Marian Hossa, Kevin Loeb, Doug Wilson, Ken Holland, and Kim St. Pierre. Now, during that induction ceremony, Gary Bettman addressed the Kyle Beach situation while on the podium at the Hockey Hall of Fame, kind of saying he admired Beach for coming forward. Again, NHL still not really putting their money where their mouth is, or like tangibly supporting Kyle Beach in this. He said what happened to Kyle Beach 11 years ago is unacceptable. Kyle has our gratitude in coming forward. We mourn his pain with him. We look at the future. We are looked at as an example for society and communities, even beyond hockey. That begins with acknowledging what wrongs are committed and ensuring they are handled with empathy, respect, and inclusion. Our normal for Kyle and anyone else must always be vigilant to make sure that everyone understands what is and what is not acceptable, so that our game is always welcoming and inclusive to all. Or normal must be to learn from the past and to do better in the future. Jury's still out, metaphorically, as to whether or not the Bruins the league is actually stepping up to help Beach and John Doe number 2. And hopefully, again, they actually step up and help in tangible ways. What else is going on out there? Adam Gretz believes there are teams that should regret not making a push to acquire Vladimir Tarasenko. NBC Sports writer acknowledged there were some concerns over Tarasenko's health, but he's regained his form with 7 goals and 14 points in 14 games. He was there for the taking by Seattle. He was left unprotected in the expansion draft. I know he has a pretty big contract, but the Kraken kind of without a game breaker at the moment and really struggling with a 4-10-1 record so far this season. Anyways, I think that's pretty much it for today's episode of Locked On Boston Bruins. Thank you so much for taking some time to listen today. We are, again, free and available on all platforms. And if you're looking for a second listen today, I recommend the Locked On Bets podcast, your daily one-stop shop for all your gambling needs. Hosted by your boy Q and expert analysis, and insight from Lee Sterling. Subscribe wherever you get podcasts. Last night, I caught up on Succession, which was a great episode this week. Tonight, planning to go see Eternals with our oldest son. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, just getting by here on a Tuesday without Boston Bruins hockey for the foreseeable future. And again, tomorrow there'll be a mailbag episode, so send in some questions. Special guests coming on Thursday, and then this week in hockey coming up on Friday before the game on Saturday. Happy Tuesday, friends. Hope you are all having a good week so far. And thank you again for tuning in to Locked On Boston Bruins, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your favorite team every single day. Later.